It's fascinating because it almost feels like the other F word is fear. So a lot of what you're talking about is somehow these leaders, these inspiring entrepreneurial types or leaders of companies are somehow getting the people that are on their teams to have less fear.
It's interesting you say that. I was in a cab in New York City as we were working on this book, and I happened to be riding with somebody I'd met on an international trip, and she asked exactly that question. She deals with a lot of people with post-traumatic stress syndrome, and she asked me, is the real issue fear, is it failure, or is it fear of failure? And at the end of the day I said, I think it's all of those together. I think fear of failure is reinforced by the memory we have of past failures. And the memory that we have of past failures distorts and magnifies our fear of failure going forward. It magnifies its impact, it distorts its likelihood, and it reinforces that instinct to not maybe try something that we have an idea about, or shut something down prematurely because it might have more of a risk than we're comfortable with. So I think it's hard to parse these issues, to separate out. But fear of failure, to go back, fear of failure, we think, is one of the central challenges of every organization and every leader. You've got to grow, you've got to innovate, and you want to have an engaged culture. You're not going to get any of those if people are fundamentally afraid of failure in your ranks. I sometimes think that business executives would be better off if we borrowed the language of experiments, because the minute you use that term, you think differently. But that vocabulary is unusual for businesses. But when you think about it, what is a new product? What's a new hire? What's a new acquisition? What's a new strategic initiative other than an experiment? It's an assertion of something you want to happen in the future that hasn't happened yet, you hope will work out, but the chances are it's not going to work out either as well as or in the same way or as fast as you would hope. If you thought about it as an experiment, the way a scientist thinks of it, you might be able to pick up the signs of failure earlier. You might be able to apply the lessons contained in those failures faster, and you might ultimately get closer to the very thing you started out with wanting, and that is growth, innovation, and a great culture.
And at the end of the day, you just go back into the lab and try again.
Absolutely. You work on a new hypothesis. You figure out, okay, that didn't work. I didn't understand as much as I thought I understood. We didn't know as much as we thought we knew. What do we do differently that might have a better chance of success?